Hello guys. Welcome to Triple Top. Here we are at Long Beach, episode 16, part 2. Now, you may be wondering, why is there a part 2? And I'm going to ask you a question. Why haven't you watched part 1? Because it's already uploaded, but it's pretty fun. It's arguably even better than part 2, because sequels are usually worse. But also because I drove an IndyCar, and IndyCar. Not much else to say there. Also, if you check my channel, you'll see that I'm deeply traumatized by this track. And with good reason. As you see, the car is right up against the wall, and that's how you actually go fast here. And I'm driving one of the bigger, probably the biggest, GT3 car. I'm not sure if the Mustang is bigger. The the M4 is definitely quite there with the big boys. The M6 was even bigger. But hey, here is the race start, IMSA multi-class race, so that's going to be far more chaotic. And we pretty much have a standing start. Not much else to say there, because you are leaving a lot of room for the prototypes, both GTP and LMP2s, and we already have people dying. That Mercedes and the Acura went into the wall. They just, went into the wall. I find it a bit amusing, to be fair. You need an A-class to race here, right? An A-class means that at the very least you're able to go side by side through the back street of a track, even if it's a pretty tight back street, as it happens here at Long Beach. But hey, no judgment. We just see. We don't judge a lot. The hairpin. At the beginning, the hairpin felt pretty good. No complaints there. The car was real stable. I had to turn up the traction control a little bit as I was losing grip on exit, which happens, that's expected. 500 plus brake horsepower on these GT3 cars, and you're coming out in first gear, so not much you can do there aside from throttle control and braking. Turn 1, a lot of understeer. This car and track combo feels weird because the car isn't nimble at all. It feels like a tractor, and that feeling is much more exacerbated here at Long Beach, where you don't have much room. You feel a bit claustrophobic. I had to turn off the visual effects because of the multi-class racing. It looks a bit horrible, but it is what it is. You have to work with whatever input you can get. And here we have the GTP leader, which was another BMW. We are friends for now, at the very least, and I expect that to be the case for the entire race. I'll leave him the outside because he definitely has a lot more power. These cars seem to have much more downforce compared to the Ferrari or the Cadillac. So good for him. I believe BMW got the pole on the race last weekend, although Porsche won, and that's kind of expected. The Penske Porsche team is just dominating at IMSA, and also in the bike, I think. Multi-class racing here, I'm kind of a bit stressed out, and that's a nice way to put it, because the GTPs are trying to find the fastest way around you, but the speed difference is not really noticeable from turn 1 to turn 5. It's just pretty flat, and you get some pretty danger close moments all throughout the race. That's something you have to be prepared for. Nevertheless, it makes the experience a lot more interesting, because there are definitely going to be overtakes, and there are definitely going to be times where either as a faster class car or as a slower class car, you're going to use traffic to your advantage, or try to use it at the very least. And that also means planning your pit stop. Here we get our fastest lap, and I felt confident because the leader was running probably high 118s. P5 went off here, and we have a lap car ahead, the car that was involved in that incident at the start of the race. I felt pretty confident here, and that's a bad sign because these races are 45 minutes long. They require a lot of endurance from your part, a lot of mental aptitude to be able to keep the car close to other cars, as you see here, to other GTPs, to other LMP2s, and to other GTDs, and feel safe while overtaking. Just as I did here, because I was losing time behind that Mercedes. He probably had some front-end damage after plowing through the Acura here at the back straight. And I was able to get through. And that was actually very beneficial because it allows me to relieve some pressure from the Audi behind and put a car between us, which was very good. The thing is, we had very similar pace, and I know from my iRating, I was one of the lower iRating drivers in this session. So that means I was one of the slowest. And that wasn't really noticeable for the first part of my stint until trouble began to arise here. We go side by side and contact is activated on the left lane of the pit lane, which was a bad move on my behalf, followed by another horrible move, which was changing tires. I believe the Audi made the same mistake. I'm not so sure. Usually in these races, or if they are shorter than an hour, you don't change tires, even if you're racing at a track such as this one, that shreds your tires to pieces. But I was only able to change my right front tire, which is the tire that usually experiences the least amount of pressure throughout the race, because you're always turning right, hence the left side of the car is experiencing a lot more pressure. Here, Tommy made another mistake. We were able to take the position. We almost made contact with him. That was very dangerous in my opinion. And I thought, hey, his car is damaged. That means he's probably not going to have that much more pace to me. Probably it equates on the long run. But I was wrong, because I started to experience a hell of a lot of understeer through that last corner. The car wasn't simply turning, and I almost took out that Porsche, which was flashing his lights, and understandable. No complaints about that. And I was making a lot of mistakes. As you see here, the car was understeering during the first half of the corner, then it understeered, then it oversteered, and then it was really unstable, not really predictable. And my guess so far of my analysis is that changing the right front tire wasn't the right call, because I had a lot of grip on that tire, but on the rest of the car, you had pretty worn tires, and that means no grip at all, and that means the leader is going to catch us. Lapping at Long Beach is very common. Today, I think the cars on P19 or P17 at the IndyCar race were getting lapped. So yeah, I was about to get lapped by the leaders. They were going to catch up to me in a matter of a couple of laps. I was feeling the pressure because I didn't want to slow them down, which I was. I was running probably 1.5 seconds slower than them. But I was able to retake this car. Johan Arnaud. Pretty tight exit. Didn't think I was going to make it safely. But I did. And I was in front of him. And I was able to put him between the leader and me, which at the end of the day relieved some pressure from the leader, because I didn't want to get lapped. I always get lapped on Long Beach. I'm traumatized by this track. But luckily he went into the pits because he needed to do his scheduled pit stop. And I wasn't able to capitalize on anything because I made contact with the inside wall. Damaged my suspension, damaged the car, which was my first goal, to keep the car as clean as possible to avoid losing time. And here I began to lose grip. Grip was nowhere to be found. I don't know. I think my theory on just changing the right front tire actually impacted me here. And I'll show you this battle. I've never seen a battle in real life at Long Beach such as this one, and never in the sim. But thankfully, Johan was an aggressive driver, but safe. He was pretty clean, and we were going side by side through most of that last sector. And even as I was losing control, which was sort of foreshadowing to what's coming ahead, I was able to stay in front of him. That didn't turn out to be the case on the next lap, where he was able to pull a very clever move on me, as you'll see here, but I end up ruining everything. I go into him, not on purpose, not on purpose. I apologized to him after the race. And if you're watching this video by any chance, sorry, I just lost the car because the car was understeering one moment and oversteering the other. And I was struggling a lot. There were moments where I thought I wouldn't finish the race. I wouldn't finish the race. And that's something I have to look after during the next races. There aren't any more strict circuits coming, but there are many challenges coming ahead. Just as this Acura, who tried to get up and take 6th position from me, he wasn't able to. We finished side by side at drag race to the finish line. Very exciting. I haven't finished a race like that in probably more than 5 years, before the pandemic or something like that. It felt good. It felt good. Rear engine cars or middle engine cars seem to be a lot stronger at Long Beach, and that makes sense because they have better positioning in their center of gravity. Although at top speed, the BMW has the upper hand. This was it for the Long Beach race. I wasn't going to do another race in IMSA, maybe one in IndyCar, who knows? Maybe I'll get the time after finish the edit of this video. But yeah, that's everything for Long Beach this week. I hope you enjoyed. Next week we're racing at Imola, which once again, high downforce track, not the bimmer preferred track layout. But we'll do what we can. We'll have fun. We're going to gain some iRating. I'm currently almost at 2500, and you'll know that by the first week of June I should be at 3K. I'm working towards that goal, and hope you'll follow along the journey. Have a good day, have a good night, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.